I take an abundance mindset in thinking about that question, and I think about where environmental learning opportunities exist, and they exist in a number of places. They exist in the schools, they exist in the communities where the kids live and with their families, and they exist in the other structured times that that kids have opportunities. So it exists in after school, it exists in weekend programming, it exists in summer camps. And so on just a presence versus absence of environmental learning opportunities, there's a lot of them. And often maybe some of the examples aren't positive ones, right? There are environmental impacts that are happening to some communities more than others, but there are learning opportunities that are related to that. And so, how are we doing in terms of the presence of environmental learning opportunities? Very, very well. I think of that from an abundance mind frame. How are we doing in terms of aggregating the impact of those environmental learning experiences and generating the next generation of environmental leaders in the world? I think we have some work to do there, and we have some work to do related to the cultural relevance of environmental learning opportunities. Oftentimes those are perceived to be for kids who have the time, inclination, and the money, or school districts who have the time and inclination and the money to engage their kids in these multiple meaningful learning experiences over time. And there are a bunch of kids who don't have that opportunity to have those learning experiences over time connected. And so we've got a lot of work to do on the equitable distribution of environmental learning opportunities. We have a lot of work to do on the cultural relevance of the programs themselves. We have a lot of work to do on who and how this work plays out in higher education and in careers. And with that said, there's an enormous amount of work going on towards all of those ends. The opportunities that exist to network the leaders from programs and initiatives between states, among states, are tremendous. The opportunities for that learning that happens in California to be shared with the learning that happens in Arizona and vice versa. There are real opportunities there. The opportunities for federal leadership coming out of the federal Department of Education to state clearly that environmental and outdoor learning is a critical component of a child's schooling years. That would make a big difference. So while we have these, kind of watershed opportunities in front of us, there's a lot of activity going on day to day that we can build from. I would say kind of deeply embedded in three things. The experience that the children have at school, the experience that children have out of school in after school programming and weekend programming and summer camp programming, and the experiences that children have in their community, and how environmental learning opportunities are reinforced in the community. Does the given Chamber of Commerce think that it's a positive thing for the outdoors to be a strong part of people's lives in a given community? Does the religious community in a given area see environmental and outdoor opportunities as a positive thing that they would perpetuate? So that would be like in addition to the schools, right? And in addition to the nonprofits whose sole purpose is to do this, is the experience being reinforced in the day-to-day lives of children? And when that happens at those levels, the programmatic aspects led by nonprofits usually, the formal schooling that happens in school, and the day-to-day community life, that is a really rich ecosystem for environmental education, and that's where strong gains can happen. I think one of the biggest is to provide opportunities for the leaders in this work to convene and connect and build relationships. If you have a strong working relationship with a colleague from another organization, you are far more likely to partner and create a collaboration than you would if you didn't know those people. And if we know that environmental education, generally speaking, lacks connective tissues between organizations themselves, between the organizations and schools, between schools and the community, one of the biggest strategies, I believe, to really building out that ecosystem and making environmental and outdoor learning an opportunity for every child to have, every year of their life, is to create opportunities to convene, connect, and really approach collaboration in ways that just don't exist right now. So a lot of our work at the Pisces Foundation is finding those backbone organizations that are on Earth specifically to support the program providers and to support the schools in doing more environmental and outdoor learning. So we're trying to create those connections between the key nodes of strategic work going on, because we believe that a school partnering with nonprofits, partnering with a community partner, is stronger than any three of those things by themselves.